Welcome everyone to the World Series of Free Enterprise. We have your final table for our Appleseed portion of the World Series. We are so awesome that we are broadcasting across 3 streams tonight on Free Enterprise, Random Mania, and RPG Limit Break. But you know you want to be your Free Enterprise. It's where the money's at. I am joined here tonight by Legend Harvest, the wonderful, the talented Legend Harvest. And how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you doing tonight? Pretty hype race we have here.
Oh yeah, I am ready.
So our runners, you can see if you've watched the Highway to the Zemu Zone League that we had recently, last year, we have 3 runners who participated in the top 16. We have Scratch Dragon, who placed 4th. We have Couch 23, who tied for 9th in that. And we have Aizen Tayama, who placed 7th. We also have a new upcoming runner, Zilch, who in the last qualifier for the Appleseeds took 1st.
Yeah, we definitely have some very talented racers across all 3 channels tonight, and all 12 are racing to see who's the best of this particular type of seed.
And I think the question we're all wondering tonight is, are we going to get another Crystal?
Certainly, at this point, we have to have a longer one, and we've had so many jet seeds. We gotta make this a white knuckle affair. We gotta make this a little harder to predict for the final.
I mean, I'm still hoping for Crystal on Ordeal.
That's always good. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our wonderful tracker for this evening is Fresh Cut Fries, and our amazing restreamer is Smapety. They are definitely worth your follows. And
we'll have...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And we'll have the race starting shortly on screen here.
Yep, should be starting any moment. And of course, with any Appleseed, we're starting with Fusuya, because this wouldn't be quite jetty enough without the amazing wizard to back. Alright, we're going to see our first key item here.
We also have a Porum start.
And hook. So, interesting to see if we have possibly a hook seed here.
Now, it could be completely overworld. If we can find the crystal and the pass on the overworld, we won't even need to use that hook.
Very true, and we've seen a lot of that so far in the qualifiers. So, you know, we want to drag this one out a little bit. Let's see those in the underground.
So 3 of our runners have stopped at Baron so far, probably checking those items.
Supremacy, I don't know. Looks like Scratch Dragon's stream froze up for a second there, so it might just be a little bit of lag on his. Yeah, 3 runners basically doing the same exact thing.
We have Scratch Dragon going straight to check that key item with Edward. Since this is a free lunch seed, as in we have a free key item, we're going to go and check and see what Edward has for.
I'm going to go with Supremacy too. That has to be duplicated. As much as I would love to say that our runners are so good, they are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Can we double check on? And bear with us for a moment here while we're checking on this.
We can see that we have Star Veils in one of the Troya shop.
Alright, so we got Couch worked out here. Alright, it looks like we're getting this worked out now. Apologies for that. Yeah, our runners are just so good.
Now we have a interesting play by Aizen Tayama going and checking that tower in Troya. And my favorite character of the whole series, Water Hag on Scratch Dragon screen.
Oh yeah, you gotta love a freebie. Alright, now that we got things a little cleared up here, we can see on Couch's screen that the Earth Crystal is behind the Edward spot. So I can assume that Couch and Aizen Tayama both have the Earth Crystal. And looks like Zilch is picking it up as well.
I'm surprised none of our runners here have tried to check Antlion. That's always a good spot to check.
I'm sure Couch will check it any minute. He would never skip it.
No, never skip it. Never skip Antlion.
Alright, looks like Scratch Dragon just run into the formidable Mylon Z. See if he can avoid the deep ravine here and get through this fight quickly. And Aizen Tayama has found the Baron Guards.
Yeah, in this seed we also have a full-powered Fu, so a nuke to the face will help any monster get over that.
Oh yeah, Baron Guards should go down pretty easily here.
The tower key is the reward for Baron.
Looks like Zilch is heading his way into Fabul. And Couches is making his way over to the Earth Crystal.
So a lot of the nice J items we see here, such as coffins or possibly hourglasses, aren't necessarily useful in this type of Appleseed. We're mostly looking for kamikazes and those AU or AG.
Yeah, we have items that they're okay, they're good, they're utility. I mean, in the moment, you know, if you need to clear a few boss spots to progress, they can kind of come in handy. Fusia is going to definitely be able to deal with most situations. But you might see some of our runners pull out an occasional utility item here and there. But to your point, you know, the apples, the kamikazes, those are our in-game items. They're what we're going to want to use to get a decent strategy and a quick strategy to get Zero Mist down quickly. I'm not sure if that stands for Dever International or Deverintal. I apologize, I'm probably butchering your name. The win condition here is the same as all. We're just finishing Zero Mist. The main thing is that shops are free. All kinds of items are available in the shop. So very important that execution is on point, and luck is going to be a big factor here in the spots that they decide to check.
Oh, and that's nice. For those who had our hook start, we just found a magma key in Antlion.
So definitely worth checking Antlion if we end up needing to go to Underground.
Now, of course, we have one shop that's gated by the Darkness Crystal, the shop on the moon, that could be holding our pass for apples.
Looks like Aizen's close to wrapping up the tower, or the Tower of Zot here. And Zilch has managed to secure a magma key as well.
And then Aizen just picked up the Baron key as well.
And Scratch Dragon looks to be the first person that's going to break Underground.
So, of course, with the Underground, we have that free check at Yang to talk to Sheila. We also have the free key item in the Land of Seven Monsters, and a whole bunch more shops to check.
Yeah, it looks like Scratch Dragon has the tower key as well, so that's a 2-item spot if they head to the tower.
So we can see Aizen Tayama is taking that Baron key and running with that. Maybe he'll find her.
Supremacy, I don't know really how to answer that. I would leave that to if anybody else in chat wants to speak up on how they feel about that, about chatting about other races, we of course are not going to comment on other races except for the finishes. But as far as chat goes, I really don't know how to weigh in on that.
It looks like Scratch using a cabin is about to go into Dwarf Castle. The nice thing about having a foo start is we have the warp glitch enabled, so that means when you fight Dwarf Castle, you can actually warp back to the throne room and pick up the key item you would get from the Luca.
Yeah, so that's 2 key items in one place. That's definitely a good spot, and they get a character there as well, so I can see why they would want to check that out.
I'm guessing Scratch found golden apples in the Dwarf Castle shop, if anyone can confirm that.
A few people are commenting about the color of Couch's UI in his game. I will say, what's ugly on stream may not necessarily be ugly when you're playing on a CRT television, so I can only assume it may not be that bad when he's looking at it. Looks like Zilch is making their way over to the Dwarf Castle as well. A pretty smart move on Scratch Dragon's part here, depending on the bosses they might run into in Dwarf Castle, to go ahead and apple up and bolster their part a bit, just in case they have some heavy hitters here.
We have confirmation in chat and on Zilch's screen that golden apples are indeed in Dwarf Castle.
Definitely a good catch. So underground access is already proving very useful at this point, if not probably necessary. Though I don't believe we've seen an ordeals check yet.
I mean, we know that we have 12 runners on screen. Maybe one of the other restreamers have ordeals.
Very possible. I guess we'll see. Depends who comes in first.
That's right. So once Eisentama finishes this screen where the walls collapse in, he'll go down and check the Baron pot, and we can see what our key item is from the...
And Couch, meanwhile, has picked up his tower key from the Baron in spot. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do next, if he wants to finish out Baron, maybe tackle Underground, though he hasn't done Antlion yet, so I don't believe he has the Magnet.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate if he never checks Antlion and decides to dive Hook.
Oh, it would be quite unfortunate. Almost a meme at this point.
It looks like we have the Dark Imps as our first boss in Dwarf Castle.
Alright, easy mode. Our runners here should be able to make pretty quick work of them, especially with the high HP pool they have. They don't present much of a challenge, but in this spot they can hit pretty hard, so that extra HP is going to prove useful here, so nobody drops.
And we have Zilch right hot on his heels as well.
Yeah, Zilch wasting no time. And Eisen looks like stopped by to get the dune buggy, or however you want to call the desert mobile here, and gets an edge for his troubles.
Unfortunately, when you're appling up all your characters to 9,999 and using kamikazes, sometimes you're not as excited to see that edge.
Yeah, not as big of an impact when you're going with a strategy like that. But, depending on what you find, you might find a spoon or some other things, so you might be able to eke out a little extra damage by throwing some spoons or other items.
So let's see what Scratch Dragon gets from his second boss here. We can see in the nice floating hand.
The almighty Infinity Gauntlet. Coming to grab one of the Infinity Stones real quick. Just gotta wait through that.
I'm always a fan of when you fight Mist Dragon here and you get the nice glowy hand that's, all misty.
Yeah, I love me some good palette swaps.
Oh, look
we
at that.
have Crystal at Dwarf Castle.
Let's see how fast we can finish the seed.
So I didn't catch where Zilch got the pass, though.
I think he
So I
stopped
don't
in
know if
Tom or
anyone found
possibly.
it. Yeah, that's a good place. So Zilch at this point, getting the crystals.
And Zilch's party looks to be pretty appled up at this point. He may possibly pick up a fourth character just to go into Zeromus with 4 characters instead of 3.
And Zilch in a very good position here. Just probably going to do a couple of final checks and then head on up. It looks like Aizen Teyama is heading to underground through a route we wouldn't expect.
He may still be looking for those kamikazes because that will save him a good amount of time.
That is a good point. Thank you for the love, by the way, Inveneral. Appreciate it.
Always good to know we're giving you very excellent comms.
Well, I'm glad to know you're providing excellent comms, and I'm riding your coattails to victory.
I mean, you're my mentor. First time commentating ever.
Alright, Ayaz and Teyama making their way out of there. Fortunately, just doing the item check.
It looks like at some point, Couch 23 has picked up the Legend Sword.
Still hasn't made that antlion drop yet, so does not have underground access, it appears. So looks like he might be our first hit ordeal.
Sadly, we know the crystal is not going to be there.
Unfortunately not. And Zilch getting 2 decent characters here from Acidia. Should be pretty good jumping off point for possibly heading to Zeromus very soon.
Yeah, and the Mysidia check for 2 characters and the free lunch flags is always a good one.
And looks like Aizen has opted to use that magma key to head underground too, which could bode well for them.
And is Zilch actually ready to go and fight Zeromus?
We might see maybe a couple more apples get burned, or maybe not, and we'll see. Meanwhile, Couch is facing the almighty Karate Man here on Mount Ordeals.
I'm always excited when Yang is in the second spot, so you get the backwards round the world kick.
Oh yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, looks like Scratch is about ready. Looks like they're about to save and make their way on to Zeromus here.
So, looking in Tom Run now, there was no pass, so I'm not quite sure where he got it.
During the chaos earlier, some of them may have found it, and we just haven't caught it in their item spots yet, though. It's hard to say. Sometimes their items only pop up for a second, so.
Hey, thank you, Fresh Cut Fries, our tracker, for letting us know that the pass is in Severe.
Good call. Thank you. And Couch, ironically, running into Antlion here on Mount Ordeals.
Oh, the memes. We also have Scratch Dragon going into the Z fight.
Diving in head first. And as always, we have to ask, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
Very well said. So it looks like Scratch only has 2 characters at 9,999.
Alright. Getting ready to use that crystal, and for those living on Earth, we're going to find out whose butt we're going to kick.
I feel like it would be very appropriate if Catch found the adamant on Ordeals, because it's not forged the crystal.
And oh my, Anguimus. I am not aware of what that's from, so please feel free to sound off in chat and let us know.
Yeah, it's definitely a new sprite for me for this time.
And Scala representing the Free Enterprise channel right now. As always, we gotta thank her for these amazing sprites that she has. From the World Ends With You. Ah, okay. And I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but Anguis Kanto?
Sounds good to me.
But for today, Anguimus is good enough. That's whose butt we're gonna kick. And Zilch going to make his way to Zeramis now.
Yeah, Scratch has moved on from Kamikaze strats to Reflected Newt strat.
That looks like just like kind of a good combination of both. Doing pretty good work there, so it's kind of a matter of time for Scratch Dragon. Unless they run into any unexpected hiccups, which can happen with Kamikaze if you don't time out everything just right.
Yeah, hopefully he can skip the refill and get a good clean kill on Zeromus here.
And Eisen finding the pass in Silvera.
You'd see Couch checking a Kaipo for more item.
And Zilch will be our second runner to find out whose butt we're going to kick.
Looks like he's going in with a team of 4 people of 9,999 HP. Possibly quicker, who knows?
We have 2 runners on our screen at this point that have made it to Zeramus. Keep in mind we have 8 other runners that aren't being displayed here that are also simultaneously tackling the seed. None of them have finished yet. Scratch getting hit pretty hard here, should hopefully be able to recover. Zilch is in a better position to dish out the Kamikaze damage, but it's going to be hard to see if that's going to be enough to make up the time difference between him and Scratch.
Scratch ran in with a better time, but casting those lives and elixirs does eat it.
Catch, meanwhile, has made his way to Antlion.
And we have our first place finisher in the Discord. It is Dusty Griff with a time of 21 minutes and 6 seconds.
The Cataseed King himself has gripped the first place here tonight in our World Series. Let's see if maybe one of our racers here can secure second place.
Yeah, we saw a virus on Scratch Dragon's screen, so he's still in the first phase.
Yeah, that is definitely promising. Oh, and Venerable taunting us.
Unfortunately, no music for the fans tonight.
The music was with us all along in our hearts.
We have our second place finisher in the Discord. We have Yumo with a time of 20 minutes and 5 seconds from one of the other restreamers.
So right now, very close race for third. Actually, we're getting the finishes piling in. Simba finished with third place with 22 minutes, 21 seconds. Penguinator right behind fourth place with 22 minutes, 22 seconds. Sniped by 1 second. Let's see if Zilch or Scratcher can secure fifth.
Come on, racers, I know you can do it. We have Ice and Tiama now in Dwarf Castle, about to get that crystal real shortly.
And Zilch and Scratch at this point, really, either of their races, Zilch has really made up some ground with the additional kamikaze damage here, so we'll see here who's able to finish it first out of the two of them. I think we're pretty close.
We see a virus over on Zilch's screen now.
And another kamikaze, is that gonna do it? And we got it. Scratch Dragon has finished in 5th place with a time of 23 minutes 8 seconds. A fantastic showing for Scratch Dragon here. Meanwhile, Flurry 14 was able to secure 6th place with 23 minutes 38 seconds. And I can only imagine Zilch is close behind here.
Yeah, Zilch is finishing up some nukes on his food, possibly a kamikaze. And here we have an interesting play by Couch, going up to lower Babel.
I understand the logic, getting that tower key, that's 2 spots. At this point, it's kind of a rough shot choosing between that and Dwarf Castle, and he took the gamble on it might be in the tower. Meanwhile, Moonblaze Wolf has finished in 7th place with a time of 24 minutes 49 seconds. So Zilch running it really tight here. See if they can get it. Yeah, it does look like Zilch tripped the HP refill, so.
We will always cheer our runners on because you know what the main thing we want to do tonight is? We want to kick Zeromus' butt.
Kick some butts, take some names, have some fun. That's what we're all about.
Maybe we'll get to see some lunar frogs on a counter screen over at the lower.
And it looks like Eisen's finishing up Dwarf Castle, so should be shortly getting their crystal.
Oh, that's interesting how Eisentama chose to do the warp glitch before getting the item from the dwarf.
Yeah, so there was a sand ruby there. Who'd have thunk?
And he's about to be really excited to get that crystal.
Yeah, especially at this point, the difficulty as a racer, and I can personally vouch for this, is if you are watching the chat and you are seeing other racers finish, a sense of urgency sets on you almost, like oh, how far behind am I getting? That you just want to get done. And I can only imagine Aizen's starting to feel that.
Yeah, you have two schools of thought. Do I want to do the metagaming, or do I not want to do the metagaming? And unfortunately, Couch 23 has forfeited from the race. So we wish Couch a GG for a job well done, having fun playing.
It was a good effort by Couch. I understand the decision. It definitely happened.
We see Eisentama picking up Tella as a good agility anchor.
And Zilch getting the GGs there, finishing in 8th place with 27 minutes 11 seconds. That is a fantastic time by any standard. and it was a great showing here at the final table of the Appleseeds.
GG Zilch. And then we see Eyes and Tama appling up, all ready to go and tackle Zeromas as well. And let's see if we can get Zilch in here for an interview.
Yeah, working on that now. While we're waiting, Eisen is prepping the apples here, getting ready for their final pass at Zerma.
Yeah, we can also see at some point Eisen Tama picked up the Luca key. Again, with a Foo Star and the Warp Glitch enabled, that Luca key won't do us any good. Hello, Zilch.
Hey. Screwed up that fight a little bit.
You kicked Zeromas' butt.
And congratulations on 8th place. It's still definitely a respectable time by any standards. So it's definitely something to feel good about.
Made it this far, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah. So how'd you feel going into tonight's race?
Everything seemed to flow pretty well. I feel like I made a lot of good choices in that going for the quick, easy item locations. Crystal, and then I may have done a questionable thing in picking up 5 people instead of just going, but aside from that, I feel like I did pretty good.
Well, I mean, any of these decisions is questionable in hindsight, you know, but you know, in the moment, I don't see anything wrong with your decisions, and you were definitely rocking it. You and Scratch hit Zeromus at a similar time. You were a little bit behind Scratch in going in, but unfortunately that HP refill that you ran into, which was just bad luck.
I thought the 3 nukes would have been enough after I banged HP nerf, but
it was really close by my math, honestly. It was just kind of bad luck on the rolls.
I mean, all 3 nukes were like 4K, so...
Yeah, definitely very respectable. Anything else you'd like to say to everybody watching, or any thoughts about tonight's race?
Thank all the organizers for putting this together. This is a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the race. And I look forward to watching it back.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Zilch, for joining us. And again, great race tonight. And thanks for putting on a good show for us. You have a good night, okay?
Thanks.
And please give all our runners a follow. So Zilch, Couch23, Eisentama, Scratch Dragon, they're all great runners. So I'm sure they'll put on great races for you if you follow them and watch them later.
Definitely worth a follow, all 4. All right, looks like Eisen has made his way to Zermus. He, like the rest of us, will soon find out whose butt he's gonna get to kick.
Here, Eisentama going in with a little bit of a different party makeup. He got that Tella from the Watery Pass, and he got Edge from Damp Sand Castle.
I don't believe I've seen anybody else finish, so Eisentama stands a good chance at securing 9th place at this point.
We did have that Baron chain, that Earth Crystal train. Looks like he also picked up the Twin Harp at some point as well. So there are plenty of other choices for our runners to make that did not lead to the crystal.
Looks like we're coming back up here. Alright. Sorry about that, everyone. Alright, we're back up here to see the finale of Eisentama's run at this point.
And if you're interested in free enterprise, we have a wonderful Discord and a great community. We have lots of guides to get you into the game, and everyone is really, really helpful and nice. Simbu has a lot of good videos for tutorials, and of course, we have the ever famous Giant Percent qualifiers coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, if you are seeing this for the first time or have just been, lurking and are kind of interested, ff4fe.com. Everything you need is there. There are guides to get you involved, get you into this. A link to our Discord's there. All of us are so willing and able to help, and we love introducing new people. So definitely get in on the ground floor here. This is a fantastic community, and we love embracing new people all the time.
One of my favorite things about the site is there's actually presets that you can select from. So you don't even have to enter your own flags. You can go and you can say select preset, and all the World Series of Free Enterprise flags are there for you to choose from. Catalyte, Giant Percent, Appleseed, lots and lots of different things to pick from that are already preset for you.
Oh yeah, and we have even our flags from our last league races, the qualifiers, the finals, all of that. And even just normal kind of standard difficulties, casual, intermediate, advanced, some definitely good presets there. And the guides that you'll need to know to get through everything. It really, just a very well equipped website, everything you need all in one place.
It looks like we have Eternal Newbie, who's finished in 9th place with a time of 35 minutes and 8 seconds.
GG to Eternal Newbie. Good time. Aizen Tayama does not seem to be far behind him here.
Yeah, let's hope that Aizen Tayama finishes off strong, and all of our runners have had a great time tonight.
Yeah, and Rivers McCown has finished in 11th place with a time of 35 minutes 58 seconds. I didn't actually catch, but Aizen Tayama, who is finishing very shortly, I apologize.
Yeah, he just finished right now with a time of 35 minutes and 56 seconds.
So GTs to everyone involved. I think that does wrap up our race. So once again, I'd like to remind everybody, follow our amazing team running here tonight. Our restreamer, Smatey, our tracker, Fresh Cut Fries, and her first time at commentary, doing a fantastic job, Legend Harvest. Definitely hope to have her in the booth again, and I appreciate you working with me tonight.
Thank you. It was a great amount of fun, and I appreciate working with you and all the help that you've given me throughout the week.
I'm glad to help. You've done a great job. All right, I do believe we will be cutting here shortly. Just a moment here.
And don't forget to tune in for the Giant Percent qualifiers starting to be streamed at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on the Free Enterprise channel.
Sounds good. All right, thank you everyone for joining us for the World Series of Free Enterprise, our Appleseed final table. Thank you and good night.
Good night.